6 a.m. Wake and Bake fight predictions. Raymond Ford versus Nick Ball. Listen, man, I ain't even gonna lie. I see no way in fucking hell Ball beating Ford. No way. I went back, I watched the Dog Bay fight, and that fight worked out for Nick because Dog Bay and him are the same fucking size. In my opinion, right? Nick has evident footwork issues, a propensity to switch into the southpaw stance. With Dog Bay, he actually switched from the southpaw stance and tried to work from that stance. And several occasions, Dog Bay took advantage of him. The lapses in footwork happen when he has to, change his feet to different stances. He's not in the position to punch, so he could be taken advantage of. It seems like his coach is trying to get him to stop doing that shit because he was doing it in the Ray Vargas fight, but every time he put himself in the southpaw stance, he immediately switched back to the orthodox stance. So I don't know if his coach is trying to get him to stop doing that. It seems like it's a habit. He doesn't seem like he's one of these fighters that can actually switch stance and be effective from both stances. He's not. Doesn't seem like he's a Terrence Crawford or Jerron Boost Ennis when it comes to switching stance. Um, it legitimately seems like it's a footwork problem because he always finds himself having to chase his opponents down. I really believe Raymond Ford was right when he said if he wants to box, I could definitely outbox him. If he wants to stand in the pocket and trade, I could stand in the pocket with him. I mean, Isaac Dogbay, who isn't half of the fighter or had an IQ that Ford has, stood in front of Nick Ball for 12 rounds. Isaac Dogbay, they did give him he was ruled knocked down, but it was like, in my opinion, was a bullshit knockdown. Um, it seemed like if you watch it back, the ref wasn't even gonna call it a knockdown. It seemed like he was gonna let him up. He shook his head. He was like, "Nah, no knockdown." And then when he heard the dude counting, because every time a fighter goes down, damn near there's a guy on the mic who starts to count just in case. And it's like he shook his head no, but then he heard dude counting and he went with it. So I don't know, man. If you read the comments on the fight, it seemed like the ref was on some bullshit. Some people say the ref was paid. He was in Ball's favor. I'm not going to go there. But yeah, I mean, Isaac Dogbay stood right in front of Nick Ball for 12 rounds. He was able to catch Nick Ball, overextending, being explosive, jumping in. At the end of a few rounds, he just caught Nick Ball pretty clean, pretty flush. I gotta go for a decision and not stoppage for the simple fact that Nick Ball does have good conditioning. I don't know if he's on something or not. But Buddy is just unstoppable. You see, he never sits down in between rounds. He's coming forward, being explosive. Good punch output for 12 rounds. So. I also want to think he has a good chin. Like I said, Dogbay caught him with some clean shots. I wouldn't say Vargas caught him with anything crazy, but Vargas was putting hands on him, and he was there the whole time, man. One thing I am gonna be weary of with this fight, right, is there is a possibility for this not to go the distance, and I'm gonna say two reasons. Reason number one is a southpaw versus orthodox matchup, and Nick Ball is very explosive. He's very aggressive. He could lunge in, he could jump in, and there could be some kind of head clash. We did see Ford get cut via head clash round 11, I believe, against Komatov. That was a southpaw matchup, but Nick has the propensity to jump in and shoot upwards. Because again, Ford is taller than Nick. But Nick runs around. He's chasing after niggas all the time. You know what I'm saying? So if Ford decides to use his footwork, which I believe will make the fight much easier if he decides to do that, then yeah, Nick and him could definitely end up clashing heads some way, somehow. I don't know if a fight will stop off a cut, but it's possible when you got southpaw versus orthodox. Number two, I'm not gonna lie. Depending on the referee who we got in there, we could see Ball end up getting disqualified. Would be crazy, but it's a different kind of blemish than a loss. You know what I mean? It's still a loss, yes we know, but different kind of blemish, being a DQ, for the simple fact that Ball does have these tendencies to be overly aggressive. We saw with Vargas, judo tossing him on the canvas, just hitting him any chance he can, hitting on the break when the ref said stop. He pushed Dog Bay all over the place, pushing and all that shit. And it seems like, the UK commentators or whoever praise him for the way, they like to see how Ball manhandles guys that never been manhandled, or just, bullies guys. So depending on the referee, that could be another factor. Are they gonna tell him to cut that shit out? Is he gonna get frustrated with Ford not being able to do much? Is he gonna, just take advantage of that and lose points? When he did the first judo toss on Vargas, the ref told him, "Man, you do that shit one more time, we'll take a point from you." Dog Bay's coach was complaining to the referee like, "Yo, he's pushing my fighter. He's doing X, Y, and Z." So we do have that possibility of that shit happening. But other than that, man, I see nothing in Nick Ball that is going to get to Raymond Ford. A lot of people saying that Ford is weight drained. Ford's team already came out and said, yeah, let everybody think they were weight drained. You know what I'm saying? Let them think that. But then you see Ford get on the scale. He makes the weight with room, with a lot of wiggle room, man. Well, not a lot of wiggle room, but a little bit more room than Ball. Looks comfortable, look good. Everybody say, yeah, he's in glasses, he's in a hoodie. I believe that was at Grand Arrivals, but then he shows up to the press conference in a t-shirt with his arms out and no glasses on. So I'm not too sure how much the weight's gonna affect him. I don't think it will, to be honest. But again, this is his first time rehydrating in the Middle East, so that could play a part. Again, another reason to go decision for Ford. And yeah, man, that's just what I think, man. That's what I think. What else? And yeah, Ford said he want to fight Shushu next at 126 pounds. So he told Shushu, man, fight me next. So I'm not too sure weight's an issue for Ford, man. He should be all right. So my pick, Ford by decision. Probably take the over if the over is somewhere, 10.5. Simply because Nick Ball is a good condition fighter. I do think he has a bit of a chin. But I think Ford will just have his way with him, man. I don't. If y'all think that pressure is gonna get to him, who did it get to? Lamati damn near made it out of 12 rounds. He hadn't had a fight out of South Africa. You know what I'm saying? He showed up and damn near went 12 with Nick Ball. Again, Isaac Dogbay, bullshit knocked down. Was able to catch Ball, stood right in front of him 12 rounds. No problems. Ray Vargas, off of how long of inactivity was his almost 2 year, a year or two of inactivity, comes back and uses his feet and footwork. And now him being so tall, he was moving back with his hands down and shit. He got caught, but I rate Ford's defense way higher than Vargas, Ball, Lamati, anybody that Nick Ball, anybody that Ford. What I say? Vargas, Dogbay, and Lamati. Ford got better defense than all them dudes. Better reactivity. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if that's a word, but he, very reactive to punches. Great reflexes. So, yeah, man, I got Ford by decision. I don't think Ball could fuck with him in any way, shape, or form. But I do believe Ball's sturdy, good condition. We going for a decision. Put it on the slip.